Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Lauren and I am so happy that you're here today, and I am so insanely excited to be filming this video because we are now just a little over or under a week away from our Disney World and Universal trip, and I seriously just cannot believe those words are coming out of my mouth. I have been planning this trip for almost a year now, and so the fact that it's here is just absolutely surreal and I cannot wait. One of my favorite things to watch while planning our trip is other people's plan our trip videos. I finally get to make my own, so I figured I'd do a little plan our trip video. Obviously, since we're leaving in less than a week, I already have everything planned, but I figured it'd be fun to kind of run through everything that we do have planned for the trip, all of our dining reservations, and I already have all of our fast passes and everything since we are staying on Disney property. I was able to book those last week. So yeah, I just figured it'd be fun to kind of show you guys everything that we have planned. This will be my first time ever going to Disney World and Universal, so I'm super grateful that we get to have that length of trip. And my husband hasn't been to Disney World in forever, so we're super grateful that we get to stay for that long and get basically probably anything we would ever want to do done. I've also made a very large amount of purchases from Amazon throughout the planning process of this trip, so I figured I'd do a haul at the end of just everything that I bought that we're gonna take into the parks or that I've bought just for the trip in general. As far as how we tracked our planning, I was originally writing it out by hand, but then my lovely husband made us a spreadsheet for every day. So we have a color-coded spreadsheet for every single day of our trip with rides, dining reservations, and everything like that. And then I also have the handy dandy My Disney Experience app. So without further ado, we will just hop into what we have planned for our trip. We fly to Florida on Friday morning and we'll get there around 11-ish. So I figure we probably won't get to the resort till around noon. We're hoping to possibly get early check-in, but when we checked in on our phones, we didn't put that as like one of our preferences. Location was a little more important to us since we're only getting there a couple hours before check-in time. We figured we can hang out and deal with having to wait for a couple hours to check into our room, and we would just prefer to get like location on property more than early check-in. If we're able to get early check-in, we'll just check into the room and then probably change into our swimsuits and head down to the pools, grab some lunch, and then the plan is to go to I always want to call it downtown Disney, but in Florida, it's Disney Springs. So we'll probably go down to Disney Springs, hang out, do some shopping, probably get dinner there, and then take a boat to the Port Orleans Resort and get some Mickey beignets, which I am so excited for. If we're not able to check into the resort early, our plan is kind of the exact same thing. We'll just change into our swimsuits and then leave our suitcases at the bell service desk, and then go get lunch, hang out at the pools, wait till our room is ready to be checked into, and then change and head to Disney Springs. That night, we'll also probably try to get back to the hotel a little early and get to bed early. I know I'm gonna be so excited and like pumped with adrenaline, but we have a very long trip, and so I wanna make sure that we're getting enough rest. So we'll hopefully try to go to bed at least a little bit early that night to prepare us for our mornings, because I also think the plan is to rope drop as many of the 6 days as we can, and that's a lot of rope dropping on top of day after day after day after day of park and hopefully shutting down the parks. So hopefully that first night we're getting to bed early. And then for our first park day, I feel like there's only one right choice. So we are headed to Magic Kingdom for our very first day. It's gonna be a Saturday and school still won't have started, so it's probably gonna be chaotic, but we're willing to put up with the crowds, and it's the first day, so it's the day we're gonna have the most energy. So I feel like it'll be doable, and we're just gonna be running on adrenaline. So at that point, I don't really think we'll care, and we're just gonna be so excited to be there. But for that Saturday, the first thing that we have planned is an 8 a.m. Cinderella's Royal Table breakfast reservation, which means we'll get to get into the parks before they open. It's gonna be such a cool experience, and I feel like there's nothing, like I really don't think you can get a better first experience in Disney World than getting in before everybody else does and having breakfast in the castle. Like I don't think I could dream of a better start to our trip. So we have that 8 a.m. breakfast reservation, and then we'll get into our lightning lanes. The first lightning lane we have is at 9:40 for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. None of the days we're in Magic Kingdom will we be rope dropping. However, I have watched a ton of TikToks and I will say I'm so happy that we were able to get, or that we did the single pass lightning lane for Seven Dwarfs, because I've heard it is a pain to rope drop. So I'm just so happy that we don't even have the stress of like worrying about trying to rope drop that ride. And then we also did the single pass lightning lane for Tron, and that lightning lane is at 10:40. I was able to get, I've never booked a Disney trip before, obviously, or a Disney World trip before, and Disneyland is just like not even in the same ball game as far as like the amount of planning you have to do. But I was really impressed with the amount or the times that I was able to get for our lightning lanes. I don't know if it's because we're going like as people are probably preparing to go back to school, or if it's just because it's gonna be in the middle of August and it's gonna be miserably hot, so I'm sure not a lot of people wanna be there. But I was very impressed with the times that I was able to get, but I also, again, was able to book 7 days ahead because of where we're staying on property. After our 10:40 Tron lightning lane, we have the Barnstormer at 11:40, and then we have Pirates of the Caribbean at 12:40, and then Tiana's Bayou at 1:40. We bought every lightning lane you could possibly buy. We, on every single day, we bought all of the single lightning lanes you could buy, and then did the multi-pass lightning lanes, just obviously to make the most of our trip. We know we have a lot of days to fit a lot of stuff in, but we figured this is probably a once in a lifetime trip for us. So we just kind of went all out on the lightning lane aspect of things. And then that night we have a 5:40 dinner reservation at Steakhouse 71. I'm so excited. My aunt and uncle go to Disney, and I think they've been like Disney World 4 times. And they went to Steakhouse 71 for the first time their last trip, which was this past Christmas. And my uncle said it's like his favorite place that they've ever been to, and it was like one of his #1 like you have to do. So I'm super excited that we were able to get a reservation there, and I'm glad we have an early-ish dinner because then we can go finish up after dinner at the parks. After dinner, we'll go back to the park and continue to ride rides and obviously see Happily Ever After, the fireworks. And then I don't really know what our plan is gonna be for after fireworks. I know the ride lines go down a lot. I'm just a little worried about us pacing ourselves and getting enough sleep in the 9 days to like be able to go the whole 9 days and do as much as we want. And I think our plan really is to rope drop most days, so we'll see. I also know people have like mixed opinions on like that you can get more done at the end of the day than you can like if you rope drop. So we'll kind of see how we're feeling, if we're feeling up to close the parks down and open them up, or if we feel that like, you know, the mornings aren't worth it for us. It's better to just get the extra sleep. So, and like I mentioned earlier, it is kind of around going back to school time, and it's gonna be hot and really humid. Like I know rain's in the forecast always for Florida, but rain is like actually truthfully like in the forecast, like it shows rain the whole time we're there. So I'm sure a lot of people probably won't want to deal with that at the parks, and we don't really mind dealing with it. So that'll also probably make our days hopefully a little less crowded. On to our second park day, which is Sunday. We are going to Animal Kingdom. We're hopefully rope dropping that day. Let me pull up our little spreadsheet here. We're rope dropping, hopefully, rope dropping the safari. I did see that that's like the best ride. Well, that's a lie. I didn't see that it was the best ride to rope drop there, but I saw that Flight of Passage was the best ride to rope drop there, but I saw that the animals, like that's the best time to see the animals because they're most likely like all waking up and starting their day then. So we're gonna hopefully rope drop the safari because we got the lightning lane for Flight of Passage. So our lightning lanes for Animal Kingdom are Dinosaur at 8:40, Flight of Passage at 9:50, Navi River Journey at 10:40, and then we have a lunch reservation at Yak and Yeti for noon, and then we have a 1:25 Expedition Everest lightning lane. I know it's really controversial about whether or not Animal Kingdom is a half-day park or a full-day park. My family, who has gone again multiple times, they say it's a half-day park for them. Obviously, with us never experiencing it before, we're not too sure if it's gonna be a half-day park or a full-day park for us. My husband really does like Avatar, so I'm sure we'll try to hit those rides multiple times. But if it does end up being a half day park and we're like, we're done, whatever, we'll just go back up to Magic Kingdom. If we feel like we need to stay till close, we can. But even with our lightning lane where it's at, our last one, the lightning lane ends at 2:25. So even if we're running like on the later end of that, Animal Kingdom closes at 6. So we'll probably just finish out the rest of that day at Magic Kingdom and or hang out back at the resort, go to the pool, relax, recover, and prepare for the next day. Our third day, which is Monday, we will be at Epcot. I am so extremely excited for this, mostly because of Guardians of the Galaxy. That is like one of my favorite movies ever. I have a pet hedgehog and his name is Rocket, so I truly cannot wait for this day. And once again, we got all the lightning lanes we could. So we're hopefully that day gonna rope drop Frozen Ever After, because I did see that if you get a lightning lane for Remy's, you should rope drop Frozen. If you get a lightning lane for Frozen, you should rope drop Remy's. So we are planning on rope dropping Frozen Ever After. After hopefully successfully rope dropping Frozen Ever After, our first lightning lane of the day is for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind at 9:10. That's like the #1 ride that I'm the most excited for, so I cannot wait for that. And then we have Mission Space at 10:10, which I'm pretty sure is the one that everyone says makes you sick. I'm not exactly looking forward to that, and I haven't really looked into why, so I'm interested to see how we feel about that ride. And then the next one we have is Soarin' Around the World at 11:10, and then we have Remy's at 12:10, and then that is all we have scheduled so far until dinner at Trattoria Al Forno at the Boardwalk Resort. And then on to Tuesday, which is a extra exciting day because it's my birthday. I'm so excited that I get to spend my birthday in the parks. So that day we are going to Hollywood Studios. I chose that park because it looks like the park that I think we'll have the most fun at and have the most things that we're excited to do. So our first lightning lane for that day is, for that day, we hope on rope dropping Slinky Dog Dash. I, in my research, saw that that is the line that gets the longest, but also the craziest one to rope drop. So I hope we're successful in that. The first lightning lane that we have scheduled is for Smuggler's Run at 9 a.m. And then we're going back to back with the Star Wars rides, which works out well for walking. We're doing Rise of the Resistance, which is also really nice because I want to get the Black Cat Coffee, I think it's called, from Cat Saka's. I think those are the names. I have a list of all of the snacks and stuff that I want to get that we're going to go through, but it's nice that that's all in the area so I can get my little coffee in the morning and then do both of those rides. And then our next lightning lane is for Tower of Terror at 11. And then at noon, we have Roundup Rodeo Barbecue for lunch. I live in Texas and I don't even love barbecue that much, but it just looks like such a fun experience. So I am really excited for that dining reservation. And then the last lightning lane that we have pre-scheduled for that day is Toy Story Mania at 1:25. And I think that's seriously one of my favorite rides ever. I love that one. I will wait in line, honestly, almost any amount of time for that ride. So I'm super excited that that was a lightning lane option. Then we'll be spending the next 2 days, so Wednesday and Thursday, in the Universal parks. The first day we're gonna be splitting between Universal Studios Florida and Islands of Adventure. And then the second day, I am so excited we got tickets to it. We got tickets to the new park, Epic Universe, which I honestly think, obviously we're so excited for like Disney World and the nostalgia and the childhood and everything. But I think the park that we are absolutely the most excited for is going to Epic Universe. The only video game that I can really honestly play is Mario Kart. So all the Mario and the Nintendo universe has a special place in my heart. And then my husband and I actually just binge watched over like the last 2 or 3 weeks all of the Harry Potter movies. So we would be prepared for when we go to all the Universal parks for all the Harry Potter rides in the world. So we are super excited to see that in like a full immersive world form. So for the first of our Universal days, we will be going to Universal Studios Florida and then Islands of Adventure. I don't think we've really decided which park we're gonna start in. We're just gonna do a half day in one and then the rest of the day in the other. So because of that, we did get the fast passes for the parks just to make sure that we're able to hopefully see everything and ride everything that we want to with still only doing a half day in both of the parks. And we also didn't really plan any like dining. It didn't really seem like dining at Universal Parks is like dining at Disney parks. So I'm sure we'll just grab like quick service food and won't really do any sit down, especially since, like I mentioned, we're only doing a half day in each of those 2 parks. Then on Thursday, we will be in Epic Universe. And I think our goal with honestly both of the Universal, well, I guess all 3 of the Universal parks, but both of the Universal days is honestly just to do as much as we can, as many times as we can. We went through and tried to like pick favorite rides or rides that we absolutely want to do. And honestly, it's every ride that's there, especially in Epic Universe. We just want to see like all the little details. I don't think we're necessarily as interested in like the dark or the evil world. I know it has like the 4 things. We're really excited for Nintendo. We're really excited for Harry Potter and excited for How to Train Your Dragon. I don't necessarily know that we're like super excited about the other one, but we'll obviously still go and experience it and see everything. But yeah, I think the plan is honestly just to try to do as much as we can in the days that we have there. And then just like the day at the first 2 parks with Epic Universe, we don't have any dining planned. Like I mentioned for that one, I think it's just gonna be grab and go. I think we're pretty much gonna be jam-packed all day long. I'm sure we'll take a break to like sit down and eat, but not like at a sit-down restaurant, probably just like grab and go food and sit and eat at a table and then get up and keep going. Our plan for transportation to the Universal parks is to just Uber, and kind of a downside, but also kind of an upside is the Universal parks close at 9 p.m., which is earlier than like if we did extended hours, which we are doing at Epcot one night, and then also like Magic Kingdom stays open later. So it'll be kind of nice that those days will be slightly shorter because they also don't open till 9 a.m. and we won't have early entry. So hopefully those nights we'll be able to get in bed at somewhat of a decent time and be well rested or caught up on some sleep for the next days. After our 2 Universal Studio days, we are back on the Disney World property. Well, we're staying at the Disney World property the whole time, but we are back in the parks on Disney property. And the first day that we have of our last remaining days, we are spending it back at Magic Kingdom, and it's actually the first day of the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. And I know there's people recommend you either way, basically that you don't spend that day earlier in Magic Kingdom if you're going to the party because you'll get to do everything at nighttime. However, unfortunately for the dining that we wanted to do and then just making the most out of our day, we got a breakfast at Chef Mickey's, and Magic Kingdom is the closest park. So we just figured we'd spend all day there, absolutely get a crap ton of stuff done, do as much as we possibly can. And then it also allows us to go back to our resort, a much shorter ride back to our resort to get changed for the Halloween party and just have a little downtime in the afternoon if we wanted it. So like I mentioned, we do have a breakfast reservation at Chef Mickey's on that Friday. It's at 9:10 a.m. And then again, we won't be rope dropping any rides because the park will already be opened by the time we're done with breakfast. But our first lightning lane is at 10:55 for the Haunted Mansion. And then we have a 11:30 Tron lightning lane, a 12:40 Space Mountain lightning lane, a 1:45 Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and then a 2:50 Pirates of the Caribbean. After our Pirates lightning lane, I think we'll probably go back to the hotel and just relax, kind of recoup, and then change into our costumes for the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, and then go back out and obviously finish the night strong, stay as late as possible because I think it's open till 1 a.m. I have it written down, but I think it's open till 1 a.m. on the party nights. So we're gonna have a long evening. So we'll probably take a little bit of time after our last lightning lane to go back to the hotel and just kind of relax, get ready for the party, and then do it all over again. Then our last day, which is so sad to even think about, is going to be split between Hollywood Studios and Epcot. We're gonna start the morning in Hollywood Studios, and then in the afternoon, we're gonna go over to Epcot. But that morning, we're hoping to rope drop Mickey and Minnie's We're hoping to rope drop Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And then our first lightning lane is for Slinky Dog Dash at 8:50. And then we have Rise of the Resistance at 9:30, Tower of Terror at 10:35, and then we have a lunch reservation at 50. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. And then we have a lunch reservation at 50's Primetime Cafe at noon. And then our last lightning lane that we have for Hollywood Studios is Toy Story Mania at 1:20. And then after that, if there's like a short line for a ride maybe that we want to squeeze in one last time, we'll do that. And if not, we will be headed over to Epcot after that lightning lane. Then as far as Epcot lightning lanes, obviously in the morning, once we start using our multi-pass lightning lanes, I'll try and schedule some for over in Epcot, but the only one we have scheduled currently is for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind at 3:25. And then the very last thing we have scheduled on our itinerary is dinner at Ohana at our resort, our very last night at 7 p.m. I'm kind of sad that we have a dining reservation that late on our last night and that we're probably not gonna get to spend a whole lot of time in Epcot that afternoon, but it was the only one that they had available within our entire stay at night. So our last night, we're finishing it out at Ohana, and then we'll probably go back and see the fireworks one last time, maybe do some shopping on Main Street, and then that will end our Disney vacation because we will leave the next morning on Sunday. That is everything that we have planned park-wise as far as lightning lanes go and dining reservations and everything. Obviously, I'll try and like reschedule our multi-pass lightning lanes as we're there and hopefully get a couple more uses out of those throughout our days. But that is everything we have like set in stone time-wise for our trip. Now I figured I would get into all of the foods, drinks, snacks, everything additional on top of all of our dining reservations that we're hoping to eat and drink throughout all of the parks. I made a little note in my notes app on my phone of everything that we want to like eat and drink and all of the other little snacks. And obviously you can see it's a good chunk of things and we already have a decent amount of dining reservations. So I doubt we'll make it to all of these, but these are just things that I've seen either on TikTok or in other people's YouTube videos that look incredible that I would like to try. Starting with Disney Springs, which is where we're gonna be going on our first day, I would really like to get, like absolutely would like to get the Dole Whip sampler. I love Dole Whip and it looked incredible and I honestly didn't even see it till on TikTok this past week, so I'm so happy I saw that before we went on our trip. And another thing in Disney Springs is the s'mores. I'm honestly not that big of a s'mores fan, but I saw a TikTok of them making it at I don't even know what shop in Disney Springs and it looked absolutely incredible and my husband loves s'mores, so hopefully we'll get one of those to share. And then not in Disney Springs, but we'll be doing it our first day, is getting the Tiana's beignets, the Mickey shaped beignets from the Port Orleans resort. Then in Magic Kingdom, I would like to get the Tropical Serenade, which I think is another Dole Whip thing. It like has float or like orange sickle, like slush in the bottom, I think, and then Dole Whip on top of it. I don't know, I saw a TikTok of it. And then also in Magic Kingdom, I feel like we can't go and not get the corn dog nuggets from Casey's Corner. I don't honestly even like corn dogs or hot dogs that much, but I feel like that's a staple. So hopefully we'll be able to fit that in our eating schedule in Magic Kingdom. I've also seen great things about the cheeseburger spring rolls at the spring roll cart in Magic Kingdom, and they look incredible. And I also saw that they have pizza ones, and my husband loves both cheeseburgers and pizza, so I'm sure we'll have to try to and see if we can do like a split order of those, but they look so good on all the TikToks that I've seen. Then in Animal Kingdom, the first thing that I have is the Dole Whip Pineapple Orange Soda Float. So now I'm thinking, I don't really remember what the Tropical Serenade is, but I wrote it down and I remember obviously it's tropical and I think it's gonna be refreshing and it's gonna be hot, so it'll be a surprise because I really didn't write down what it was. But in Animal Kingdom, the first thing that I have is the Dole Whip Pineapple Orange Soda Float, which again, refreshing, it's gonna be hot, and that just sounds incredible. And I love Dole Whip, so you really can't get any better than that. And then also the Night Blossom, which is another slush. It's gonna be hot in the middle of August, so I don't think we can really go wrong with getting too many sweet, cold, fruity drinks. Moving on to Hollywood Studios, I know I mentioned it earlier, but I wanna get the Black Calf Cold Brew from Katsaka's in Galaxy's Edge. And then I also have, the only other thing I have on here, which is crazy, is the Round 'em Up Latte from Toy Story Land in Hollywood Studios. So I don't know if we'll get both coffees in one day, but we will be back to Hollywood Studios for our last day. So we may try to get one of those the other day, but I do know for sure that I do not want to leave without getting the Black Calf Cold Brew. And I was really surprised that I don't have anything for Epcot on my list, but obviously we're just gonna be probably snacking around the world. We do have dining reservations, but I'm sure we'll walk through the World Showcase and get plenty of snacks from all the countries and drinks. However, we do not plan on drinking around the world because I don't think I could survive drinking around the world in the middle of a 9-day vacation with 8 total park days between Disney World and Universal. That is everything I have written down and or planned for our trip, food-wise, lightning lane-wise, everything like that. So I figured lastly I'd show everything that I have purchased, mostly from Amazon, for like my park bag and just like essentials to have with me in the park to keep us cool and comfortable, because like I mentioned, we are going in the middle of August and it's also supposed to be raining the entire time. The first thing that I got is obviously a Disney bag, and I used to carry a backpack, but I've seen everybody carrying these bagoos around, and I'm gonna be carrying my camera with me, and I just don't wanna have to like take my backpack off and unzip it every time I wanna take my camera out. So I'm super excited for this, and I also carry a crossbody like daily. So I am super excited to have a crossbody as a park bag. And I think I got the medium size. I honestly can't remember, but everything should fit in it fine because my husband's also gonna carry a backpack. Also, this is my box of things that I purchased from Amazon that I just continue to throw more and more stuff on. So it's definitely full. We got a lot of stuff. The next thing that I purchased are metal reusable straws. I am a paper straw hater. I can't drink out of them. I hate that they disintegrate. I hate that if there's like, well, any like popping boba or anything like that, or like syrups, like caramel drizzle and stuff like that, nothing comes up through them. So I hate paper straws. So I got us some reusable metal straws that we can carry around. They have little cases around them so they can go in our bags and will stay clean, and then we can just like rinse them off and clean them at the end of each day. I also got a little portable fan. I think it's rechargeable, or maybe it's battery operated. I should probably find out before we go so I don't know if I need to bring batteries, but I got this. It's just tiny. It's like handheld and super small and compact, so it'll be nice. It'll fit in our bags. However, now that my husband is planning on bringing a full-size backpack instead of the small one that I used to carry, we also have this fan that I got for our dog from when we go outside when it's hot. And honestly, it definitely is a lot probably higher powered than this one is. And I feel like it'd be nice to have 2 fans. So we'll see if we think this can fit in his bag, but I think I might also bring this fan as well. Next item is also kind of weather related, but we got little parkas. We got Frog Togs, which I used to use this brand of sunscreen going up, but they seem like super nice quality. So we just got these. Like I mentioned, it's supposed to rain the whole time we're there. And I know in Florida, it's gonna rain daily no matter what. But rain is like actually for real in the forecast while we're there. So these were non-negotiable. I also got a little pill case to carry some Excedrin and also Dramamine. I do sometimes get motion sick, and I also get a lot of headaches, and I just know that I hope I drink enough water and stay hydrated, but I just know the likelihood of that is probably slim, so that will not help either of those things. So I just got this little kit, and honestly, I probably just will only have those 2 pills, so it also gives me some extra room for like Band-Aids or anything like that if like we get blisters or carry other little small things. I also bought some hand sanitizers. I have these even not at Disney. I have them spread around my house. I have one in my purse. So I'm taking a couple of these to keep in our bags because I know they try to keep the parks clean and looking nice and everything, but honestly, with that many people there, you just can't keep it like that clean. And I don't like germs, so I'm definitely gonna be carrying these with me. Next in the never-ending box of things, we have these little like foot patches. They're Dr. Scholl's Tired Achy Feet Soothing and Reviving Foot Mask. And so I figured after 9 days of walking around, well, however many days of walking around, because honestly, we'll probably be feeling it after like day 1 or 2. I figured these would just be nice to use at night. And on the topic of our feet, I also got a little foot roller for us to use because I'm sure neither of us are honestly gonna want to rub each other's feet after park days because we're just gonna be exhausted. So we have this to just get knots out of our feet and kind of give us a little relief before doing it all again the next day. I got myself a little card holder as well. I have like a full-size wallet. I don't have anything little and compact like this. And since I'll only need like my ID if I want to drink, and honestly we'll have our Magic Band, so our credit card will be hooked up to that, but just in case, I'm sure I'll carry a credit card around, so it'll be nice to just have a little card holder instead of having to take my full-size wallet in my bag. I also got this Friction Defense cream. I honestly don't know if I really chafe, but I figured with that much walking, I wouldn't really want to find out there and not be prepared. So I bought this just in case. And that's everything that I bought for the trip, like for in our bag or like for park use and everything. But then I did also pick up a couple things from the grocery store. The first thing being these little mini deodorants to carry in our bags, because to be honest, we're gonna be walking a lot and it's either gonna be hot and humid or somewhat less hot and extremely humid from the rain. So we're gonna be sweating and probably not smelling the greatest, and I honestly don't wanna not smell the greatest. So I got these little mini deodorants for my husband and I. And I also got some motion sickness medicine, like I mentioned earlier. Sometimes I get motion sick and I just don't wanna risk not having this with me. And then I got a little mini hairbrush to carry around. My hair gets so insanely tangled, so this will definitely be nice. I do plan on probably having my hair pulled up a majority of the time because it is gonna be so hot, but just in case I decide not to, I honestly can't really braid or anything, so if I decide I'm just gonna let my hair be down, this will definitely be nice to have. I did order myself a birthday cake to be delivered to the resort, which is kind of extra, but I got some little birthday candles, and I think my husband bought me other birthday candles too, that have like the little numbers on them, so, but I had these as a backup just in case. And then the last thing that we got, I actually didn't purchase, my aunt purchased for us, which was super nice, but it's these little things that keep your magic band in place. I did see when I bought my magic band that like one of the complaints was it had come apart and someone had lost it. So she got these for us, and it has a ton of colors in it, so we can match them with our outfits for the day. And then on the topic of magic bands, the last thing we got is our magic bands. We just went with simple white and black. I figured this will match all my outfits, and I honestly didn't love any of the other designs they have, so I know it's kind of plain and boring, but they'll match everything that we wear, and they've been charging, so they are ready to go, and I'm sure we'll honestly charge them again before we get there just to make sure. But that is the last thing that we purchased. That's the last thing that we purchased as far as this stuff. I bought a lot of clothes and stuff, which will be in another video. That is everything I have as far as our plans for the trip and everything that I am bringing in my Disney bag. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to stay tuned for my outfit video as well as my Disney vlogs. But I will see you in the next video.